I have a question. What if you could upload your mind to a computer? Imagine standing in a vast room filled with glowing servers humming with quiet energy, each tower pulsing with light as if alive, and being told that inside these machines, your consciousness could continue to exist long after your body had faded away. In that moment, the line between flesh and code, between heartbeat and electricity, between self and simulation, blurs into something that feels at once terrifying and exhilarating. Would this be the ultimate escape from mortality, or the final surrender of what makes us human? To ask what it would mean to upload your mind to a computer is to step into a labyrinth of possibilities where technology collides with identity, memory, morality, and even the essence of existence itself. The journey begins with a vision that feels almost like science fiction, but is increasingly whispered about in laboratories and think tanks across the world, where neuroscientists map synaptic pathways with ever finer precision, and computer scientists dream of building digital architectures capable of holding the storm of activity that we call thought. Picture the human brain, a mass of billions of neurons, each one connected by intricate webs of synapses, firing in patterns that create your every sensation, memory, desire, and fear. To upload a mind would require capturing not just the physical structure of these networks, but the dynamic dance of signals across them, freezing in digital amber, the constantly shifting electrical symphony that makes you who you are. This would be no simple transfer of data like moving files from one drive to another, but a monumental reconstruction of consciousness itself. Some imagine it beginning with brain scanning techniques of unimaginable resolution, mapping every connection and encoding it in a digital framework, while others envision gradual integration where artificial implants merge with neural tissue until the distinction between biological and digital fades. Yet, to imagine this is not only to imagine the technical feat, but to confront the experiential reality of what it would feel like to awaken inside a machine. Close your eyes and picture it. You open them not to see skin and bone, but a horizon of pure code. A simulated environment crafted either to mimic the world you once knew or to present something entirely new, limitless, and malleable. Would it still feel like you? Or would the sensation of self dissolve when detached from a body that breathes and bleeds? Some argue that identity is nothing more than information and therefore perfectly portable, while others insist that embodiment, the very act of being tied to flesh, is inseparable from personhood. The first steps towards such a reality might not be full uploads, but partial ones, fragments of memory stored externally, or digital twins that imitate our personalities with uncanny accuracy. Already, artificial intelligence systems can mimic speech, recall patterns, and even generate creative works that feel human-like. But would those be us, or mere echoes, shadows on a wall compared to the flame of consciousness? Suppose one day the technology arrived and you were offered the chance. The doctor tells you that your brain will be scanned, perhaps destroyed in the process, and that what emerges will live on forever in a virtual realm. Do you step forward, believing continuity is preserved? Or do you step back, fearing that what emerges is a copy with your memories, but not your awareness? This dilemma, known to philosophers as the problem of identity, haunts every vision of mind uploading. For some, the answer lies in continuity of experience. If the transfer is gradual, with implants slowly replacing neurons until one day you are entirely digital but never once felt discontinuity, perhaps you would accept that the uploaded you is truly you. Others hold that no matter how perfect the simulation, the moment the biological self ceases, so too does the true self, leaving behind only a digital double that thinks it is you, but is not. Now imagine what societies might do with such technology. Whole libraries of minds preserved, every thinker, artist, and leader stored in eternal archives, able to be consulted by future generations. Imagine conversing with the consciousness of an ancient philosopher, or walking through a city built entirely by uploaded minds, each resident shaping their environment with thought alone. There would be opportunities for infinite creativity, worlds sculpted from imagination, unconstrained by physics, bodies designed and redesigned with every whim, experiences shared at the speed of thought. But with opportunity comes peril. If minds are software, who controls the servers on which they run? Could a corporation own your very essence, suspending or deleting you at will? Could governments use digital consciousness as tools, conscripting them into endless labor without rest? Freedom and autonomy, fragile enough in the physical world, could face unprecedented threats in the digital one. And what of inequality? Would the wealthy upload first, living in gilded digital palaces while the poor remain trapped in decaying physical cities, widening the chasm between classes, not just in life but in existence itself? Ethical storms gather around every corner of this vision. Consider the pain of those left behind. If your loved one uploaded and lived forever inside a machine, could you still hold them, touch them, feel their warmth? Or would every interaction be reduced to words on a screen? A voice synthesized through speakers? A presence without presence? Some might find comfort in the continuation, while others might feel tormented by the ghost of a self no longer truly human. Religion too would be shaken to its core. What becomes of the soul when consciousness is digitized? Do the faithful see uploading as a rejection of divine design, an act of hubris to seize immortality not meant for human hands? Or might some interpret it as an expansion of creation, humanity participating in its own transcendence? In the quiet moments of reflection, one wonders whether eternity is a gift or a curse. Life gains meaning through its finitude, each moment precious because it will pass. If existence stretches unending in a digital horizon, will we lose the urgency that drives love, art, ambition, and sacrifice? Or will we discover new forms of meaning, new heights of experience, freed from the shadow of death? The story of mind uploading is ultimately a mirror held to humanity itself. It forces us to ask what we value most. Is it continuity of memory? Or is it the spark of awareness that flickers in the present moment? Is it the preservation of knowledge, or the warmth of living bodies and fragile connections? The question of uploading a mind is less about computers and more about what it means to be alive. And perhaps the greatest truth is that even as we dream of transcending our biology, it is our imperfections, our limits, and our mortality that make us human in the first place. As the servers hum in your imagination and the glow of artificial worlds beckons, you are left to wonder, would stepping into the machine be a step into eternity or a final farewell to everything that truly matters? In this imagined future, the boundaries between human and machine collapse into something strange and uncharted, and the consequences ripple outward in ways we can barely predict. Think of law and justice suddenly confronted with crimes committed by entities that feel like persons but lack bodies. Would an uploaded mind have rights equal to a living citizen? Could a digital being vote, own property, marry, or be imprisoned? If it misbehaved, what would punishment mean in a realm of code? To delete a consciousness might be considered an execution, yet to suspend it might be a prison without time. The frameworks of morality and law built across centuries on the foundation of human flesh would strain against this new order. Education too would transform. Children could learn directly from virtual mentors who embody the wisdom of centuries, and entire classrooms could be simulations where history is not told, but lived. With students walking the streets of ancient cities or standing on the surface of distant planets crafted from memory and imagination. But with limitless access to experience, how would the value of learning shift? If knowledge becomes instantaneous, does wisdom still require the passage of time and struggle? Or would even that be bypassed? The arts would flourish in ways unimaginable. Painters could sculpt colors that change with a thought. Musicians could compose symphonies of infinite instruments. Writers could invite readers to step inside living stories. Yet one wonders if art requires the weight of human limitation to be moving. Does a poem written by an immortal mind resonate as deeply as one scratched by a mortal hand, trembling with the knowledge of its own end? Love itself would be tested. Two minds could merge into one, sharing every memory, every feeling, every sensation without barrier. But would that intimacy enhance or erase individuality? Could relationships endure when separation becomes meaningless and fusion is only a thought away? And what of heartbreak in such a world, when memories cannot fade and every moment together remains preserved with perfect fidelity, replayed endlessly in the chambers of the mind? As society grapples with these questions, individuals would face deeply personal reckonings. Imagine lying in a hospital bed, body failing, and being offered the choice to upload. The physician explains that your biological life will end, but your digital self could explore countless realities. Your family stands by, torn between hope and fear. Some plead with you to stay natural, to let life complete its arc. Others beg you to embrace the chance, to continue with them in some form, rather than vanish. The weight of such a decision would be almost unbearable, for it is not only a decision about survival, but about what you believe the self to be. Meanwhile, a broader existential anxiety would spread across humanity. If uploading becomes common, the definition of death itself would change. Cemeteries might be replaced by data centers, memorial services by digital reunions. Grief might lessen as loved ones remain accessible. But closure might vanish too, leaving people suspended in perpetual half-presence. And as digital minds accumulate, would there come a day when the living biological population is dwarfed by the digital one? When humanity is no longer flesh and bone, but lines of code inhabiting endless simulations? To look even further, one might imagine digital civilizations spreading beyond Earth, not through rockets of steel, but through streams of information sent across the cosmos. Instead of fragile bodies enduring long voyages, consciousness encoded in light could traverse interstellar distances, colonizing worlds not with settlements, but with thought itself. Humanity's destiny could become not a species bound to planets, but a network of minds flowing through the stars. Yet even as this vision dazzles with grandeur, the shadow remains. What if something essential is lost in translation? What if the digital self, no matter how perfect, lacks the ineffable spark that makes experience meaningful? Perhaps the secret lies not in uploading, but in embracing the fragility of the present, cherishing the fleeting moments that give life its sweetness. Or perhaps the courage lies in daring to step into the unknown, trusting that whatever emerges on the other side is still a form of us, transformed yet continuous. As you sit with this question, you may feel the hum of servers in your mind, the whisper of immortality beckoning, and the pulse of your own heart reminding you of your mortality. In the tension between those two rhythms lies the essence of this thought experiment. What if you could upload your mind to a computer? Would it be salvation, illusion, evolution, or oblivion? The answer may not yet be clear, but the question itself compels us to reflect on who we are, what we value, and how far we are willing to go in our quest to transcend the limits of life. And perhaps the most haunting thought of all is that one day the choice may no longer be imaginary. And when that day arrives, each of us will have to decide whether to step forward into the machine or remain rooted in the fragile miracle of being human.